in. 3 points. That's what I'm talking about. Shrewsbury 0, Donny 2. Come on. Get in. Get in there, sunshine. 3 points. That's what we wanted. That is what confidence does. That is what great performance does. I said after Burton defeat, last week, I said it. I said, if we took the confidence and the fluency from that first half against Burton and applied it to 90 minutes, we get the win. We get the 3 points, and that's exactly what we did. Andy Butler, the manager, steps into that defence, and suddenly we look unbreakable again. Andy Butler, I pray for these last 6 games, just stay in the back line. Keep Wright at right back. Leave Halliday on the bench until he's fully fit for next season. And just do it, please. Just, if you can't do it, just have Halliday at right back and Wright at right in the centre back with Anderson. Please, just help us defensively, because I think you stepping in there actually made it a little bit more secure. And I think that, obviously he's come out after the game and said he don't want to take all the credit for today. But I swear, I tell you something now, we looked we looked like the old Rovers. We looked like the Rovers that would win every game. We had so much confidence we could win every game. That's the Rovers we know and love. That's the Rovers that have been fighting game in, game out. And we're back. We're fully back. Now, Aaron Wilbraham, the temporary manager of Shrewsbury, while Steve Cottrell's been nursing his COVID illness, he said after the game that they were going to go after us, but it just didn't click. It didn't really go on. And I could see Shrewsbury getting a few chances. Shrewsbury got a good few chances. Balcombe's kicking's been poor in this game today. I think Balcombe's goalkeeping's, in terms of kicking it and distributing it, it's been very, very poor today. Every time he kicked the ball away from a goal kick, he sort of gave it to a Shrewsbury player, whether it's short or long. He just gave it away completely. And it's that kind of... and thank God we got a clean sheet today as well. Not just 3 points, but a clean sheet for the first time in what seems like months. But yeah, we really need to utilise this now, because we've now got Accrington, Fleetwood, Peterborough, Rochdale, Blackpool and Peterborough again. Last 6 games of the season. We can do something here. We are, in fact, while I've got it, let me check the table, because I think we're in a good position. Let me see. Let's see. Kind of sounded like the rhythm of 64 Zoo Lane. Let's have a look then. So, in terms of the table, obviously Wimbledon's got to play Swindon, Oxford's got to play Gillingham, and I think something else as well. But if we look at the table, we are 10th right now with a game in hand. If we win the game in hand and Charlton lose their game, then we are goal difference in 8th place. Obviously Oxford's got to play their game today, so if they beat their opponents at Gillingham, then they're going to go 2 points clear into 7th. Depending on goal difference, which I think is the same as Portsmouth, yes, so they'll go into to 6th maybe as well. So Oxford could go into the playoffs if they win today, but they don't win, and we win our game in hand, Charlton lose their game in hand. We are 2 points away from 6th place, and with Portsmouth's run of form, you never know what's going to happen. And then suddenly, if Blackpool start going on a losing run, cause they beat Sunderland today, so if they go on a losing run, we could be in a position where we could still get playoff places, despite everything that's been going on the past month or so. We could sneak into 6th place, maybe even 5th place, depending how Blackpool do, but very unlikely for 5th. But I think the position we're fighting for now is 6th. We can't give up. Not until it's mathematically impossible. We can't give up, because one win could change a whole season. One defeat could change a whole season. One draw could change a whole season. One result could change an entire season. We were on top, then we fell, really fell, And now we've got the first win on the board in about a month. First win in April. Use that. Think of it as, okay, first win on the board. Let's go get another one now. Then another. Then another. Then another. Then another. We could seriously do damage. We could seriously do damage in these last 6 games. We've got Accrington, Fleetwood, Peterborough twice, Rochdale and Blackpool. Use those 6 games as a launch pad to go for it. To absolutely go for it. Because if we go for it, we'll get results. If we show up defensively like we did today, we'll keep clean sheets. And if we get an extra couple of results around us from other people helping us out, 6th place is still ours to get. It still could be in our hands to get. So this season might be saved. Do you think we're going to get through the playoffs if we get 6th place? I think the bookies would tell us no. But you never know, do you? You never know. You never believe anyone these days. But, mate, what a performance today. If this is the start of a run that gets us 6th place by the end of the season and continues our season into May, then, my God, what a win to get. What a win. What a way to start this potential run of games where we could win the rest of the games of the season. Few key players today. Obviously, I've spoken about Balcombe. Yes, his distribution's been poor, but you know what? He made a couple of good saves. So, you know, there's every negative has a positive. Taylor Richards. Taylor Richards. I think he's finally remembered he's not playing for Darren Moore anymore. But no, in all seriousness, what a player. What a player Taylor Richards is. He's started to look like the Taylor Richards under Darren Moore. He's starting to look like the Paul Pogba influenced midfielder. And you all know that article. Taylor Richards, I think, spoke to Paul Pogba and got some advice from Paul Pogba. We're starting to see the Paul Pogba-esque in Taylor Richards again over these last couple of games. He looked like he gave a damn about the shirt today. He was fired up. He was going for it. He was taking people on. He wasn't afraid to get the ball back. He put a couple of flying tackles in. He swept the ball under the Shrewsbury player that led towards the 1-2 between him and Okunabiri that led to Richards scoring the second goal of the game. On my life. On my life. And that's another thing, the goals. Before we go on about other players that I'll pick out today. The first goal, you feel sorry for the Shrewsbury player a bit. Shrewsbury take a throw. It goes to, the pass goes to the Shrewsbury player. He slips as he gets ready to have the ball. Okunabiri sees that he slips, pounces on like a predator to a lump steak, and just pounces onto the ball, goes ahead and just sticks it bottom right. I feel a bit unlucky for Shrewsbury with that one because there was a bit of a Stevie G Demba Bar slip. You know, there's Steve Gerrard, he slipped on his backside. Well, that's the PG version. He gave it to Demba Bar, Steve Gerrard. But yeah, it's I think that there was a bit of a Stevie G moment in there, and yeah, very unfortunate there. But the second goal, swept it underneath, passed to Okunabiri. Okunabiri lays it back off to Richards before he gets into a flying tackle. He got pelted by that tackle, Okunabiri. And then Richards came in and just killed it top corner in the penalty area. It was just brilliant. Wonderful goal. Taylor Richards needed that. Okunabiri needed his goal to get back on form. And that's another player that I'll pick out today. Fajiri Okunabiri, my God. When Omar Bogle does not show up in the squad, Okunabiri can do that. And then when John Jules came on for like the last 25-30 minutes or so, you know, again, it just shows how well he can do, John Jules. He was a bit rusty coming on at first, like the first few minutes, but you know what? He grew into it and he got involved in the attacks again, and it was good to see TJJ doing that. Another player I'll pick out today is Matt Smith. Oh my God, that guy, wonderful, absolutely wonderful. Grinded the gears of the midfield, worked with Bostock. Bostock was the physical holding midfielder. Matt Smith was the box-to-box playmaker, playing exciting passes. He did go down a couple of times in the second half. I was a bit worried a couple of times that he was injured, but he got back up and he was carrying on very well. So, yeah, all good there. And then Joe Wright at right back. That guy proved me wrong, and I think Brad Halliday's position could be under threat. Obviously, Joe Wright is not the permanent solution at right back. That is square pegs, round holes. And, you know, if Halliday is staying at the club, signing a new deal, do I think that we'll sign another right back to compete with him? I think that's one of the positions that we will be investing in. I think that's one of the positions we'll invest in the summer under a new manager. I think a new right back to compete with Halliday, along with Charlie Seaman. You know, an extra one might not be all bad, because you need competition at every position, not just one extra player in that position. You need one or two, so you're going to need it. So it should be very interesting to see what we do, and I'm really excited to see what we're going to do. So let's go into my player ratings. Obviously, you can see them on the screen, and obviously, fresh trim. I got the cut. Lights, camera, action. Cut. That's a wrap. But yes, let's go to player ratings. So starting off with the substitutes, there's 3 substitutes that came on. John Jules, Lakilo and Williams. John Jules gets a 7 for me. Looked a little rusty in the first few minutes, but you know what? He grew into it and he became a wonderful attacking player, another attacking presence. And, you know, the more he gets 90 minutes, the better for me. But how can you get ahead of Okunabiri after that? Not Lakilo. Okunabiri after that. Lakilo, 6. Looked a bit of a bundle of energy, but just didn't have enough time to make a bigger impact. And Williams, again, not enough time to make a bigger impact. Got involved in a couple of headers and overall just assured things up. Now, starting lineup time, and no one gets below a 6 in this one. No one gets 6 or below in this starting lineup. Everyone gets 7 or above. No one gets a 10, but, you know. So starting off with Balcom, I'm going to give him a 7. I'll be kind today, I'll give him a 7. It usually would have been a 6 because of his poor distribution. But you know what? He gets a 7 because he did make a couple of good saves. So I'll get like I said, every positive has a negative. Starting off in the fullback positions, Reece James gets a 7 out of 10. Bit surprised that Horton was dropped to the bench. Bit surprised that Greaves was dropped to the bench as well. But of course, if you can put out the strongest squad available, then obviously, yeah. And you have to be ruthless at times as a manager. And he's gone with James and Wright. And, you know, James, first of all, brilliant. Did well in his position. Was assuring. Was great. Lost the ball a couple of times, but you know what? All good. All good. And then Joe Wright at right back, 8 out of 10. He was one of the star men today. Just absolutely incredible, just brilliant. But like I said, it's square pegs round holes. He's not a right back, but you know what? He's doing a good job there, so we can play in that position if we need to. And apparently, according to some fans, Wright really wants to stay at the club, so he's one of the people I'm expecting to agree a new deal. So fingers crossed that'll be the case, and he won't go down to Preston with Ben Whiteman in the summer. But yeah, I think Joe Wright's going to stay at the club. I think he's one player that will stay at the club 100%. Going into the centre-back positions, Butler gets a 7 and so does Tom Anderson. They both did really, really well. Butler was a presence. You know, he was assuring. He didn't let anything less than 100% leave him be. You know, he was like the commander of his army. He was just leading that back line and just did a wonderful job. Tom Anderson, the captain, leader, legend, just another captain's performance today, really assured, very, very good, putting some good blocks overall. Back line, so strong. Next up, Bostock in the midfield, I'm going to give him a 7. I think that Bostock was, again, a physical presence. Not the best performance compared to other performances, but you know what, he did really, really well. And Matt Smith gets an 8. Again, just box-to-box playmaker, very attacking, very fluent, made some great passes, got tackled a few times, so you know how dangerous he could be when you're getting pinpointed for tackles. But you know what? He was brilliant. Then on the wings, Josh Sims on the left, going to give him a 7. I think, again, just an overall good performance. Got involved in the attacks, tried to make stuff happen. Overall, very, very good. Same with Coppinger, 7. I think that, again, Coppinger's just Coppinger, isn't he? He's just a legend everywhere he goes. And now, according to the club statement from yesterday, this is going to be his last season. So this is the last season of James Coppinger in the first season of the channel. It's going to be interesting. It's going to be weird. It's going to be interesting, but not seeing Coppinger on the pitch will be an interesting one. But, you know, he'll go out with a bang, I'm sure. And then finally, we got Richards in the cam at 9 rating. I'm going to give him a 9. Taylor Richards, man of the match for me. Comment down below if you think that Taylor Richards is man of the match. He was just Paul Pogba-esque. He was attacking. He was fluent. He fell into tackles. He got involved physically. He was a physical, calm presence. It's what we saw under Darren Moore with Taylor Richards. Just Couldn't fault it. Unbelievable. And he earns a starting place on Tuesday. 100%. You know what, to be fair, if Andy Butler's going to be playing in the game again on Tuesday, I really wouldn't change that starting 11. I really wouldn't. Unless he puts Okunabiri on the wing, Coppinger drops to the bench and you put John Jules up front for 90 minutes. But I don't think that'll be the case. So I would expect an unchanged lineup unless there was some change to the bench, like Halliday coming back into the bench or something like that. But yeah, I wouldn't expect many changes, to be honest, with this squad. So Richards gets a 9, man of the match. Comment down below if you agree. And then finally, Fajiri Okunabiri gets 8 out of 10. And I think that's a fair rating, to be perfectly honest. He got the goal, was all over the place in terms of attacking, just all over, pressing people down, and just brilliant. So yeah, now we've got Accrington away on Tuesday at 7 o'clock kickoff. So what should we do against Accrington Stanley, who just lost 3-1 to Rochdale? Go at them from the get-go. Do what we did in the first half against Burton and for most of this match. Go at them with full force. Go at them very attacking. Press them down. Force them into mistakes. And we will seal this game in the first half. 110%. If Rochdale, that are now third, they're now third from bottom, but at the beginning of the day, bottom of the table Rochdale can go to an out of form Accrington and beat them 3-1. We can beat them. We can beat them, and that'll be 2 wins out of 2 in the last games of the season, in the last 6 games of the season. So, or the last 7 technically, including Shrewsbury, but 2 wins out of 2 in these last 7 games will be a great way to continue this new brand of form. And you know what? I'm confident we can get top 6 now. I'm confident we can get 6th place. It's all about whether the players continue the work rate and, you know, produce the final push towards the last game of the season. Continue the push, because we've got some interesting games coming up. Accrington I expect to win. Fleetwood I expect to win, even though they came close to beating Hull if it wasn't for 2 goals from Hull that won them the points. So I expect Accrington to be beaten. I expect Fleetwood to be beaten. Peterborough and Peterborough in between Rochdale and Blackpool, or either side of them, should we say. The Peterborough games I expect to be at least a draw. I'd like to see us win them though, because Peterborough can drop points at any occasion, so I'd like to see us beat them. Rochdale I expect to beat them. Blackpool I expect to beat them. So I'm expecting us to hopefully win at least 5 or 6 out of these 7 games, and maybe that'll be enough. Minimum 4, maximum 7 out of 7 games. So out of 21 points, the minimum I expect us to get is 12 or 15 out of 21. So I think that's a minimum, but maximum I want to aim for 21 points out of 21. Take this game and go forward. But there we go, guys. Thank you very, very much for watching this match review. Stay tuned for Monday's preview for the Accrington Stanley match. And for now, guys, I'm Aaron Chandler from Forever Football, DRSC. Keep living the Rovers life. And that, my friends, is full-time. Rovers side die. Come on. 3 points. Up the flaming Rovers. Come on. Rovers till I die. Rovers!